Welcome to my pre-algebra class. We're on Chapter 6, Section 4. We're working with perpendicular and parallel lines. If you have two lines that intersect and form right angles, they are called perpendicular lines. So here we have line AB, and this is a symbol for perpendicular. And it looks like an upside down T is perpendicular to line CD. So that means, and here we have the little square to represent right angles. All the angles here are 90-degree angles. If we have two lines that do not intersect, then they run alongside each other and they're called parallel lines. So here we have line PQ, and this should be above this, is parallel to line RS. And the symbol for parallel are these two bars, parallel bars. And they will never intersect. There's a special relationship between two parallel lines that are cut by a transversal. This is the line that cuts through these two parallel lines. All the angles that are created, there are 8 of them, are related, and given just one angle you can find the remaining 7. And the thing you have to realize is the corresponding angles in the same place in relationship to the parallel lines, are congruent. So angle 1 is above and on the left is congruent to angle 5 above and on the left of the second one. Angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding angles, they're equal. And 3 is below the parallel line on the left, 7 is also, and so they're equal, and 4 and 8 are corresponding. And there's also what we call alternate interior angles. 3 and 6 are alternate, they're across the transversal and they're interior between the parallel lines. And 4 and 5 are alternate interior angles, and they are equal. So 3 and 6 are equal, 4 and 5 are equal. So we're getting a lot of corresponding or congruent angles. And then finally there's alternate exterior angles. Angle 1 and angle 8 are exterior, above and below the parallel lines, and they're congruent, they're equal. And then 2 and 7 are alternate exterior angles. So with that in mind, I can find all of the angles here. So let's do that right now. 2 is 70, therefore by alternate exterior angles I know that 7 is 70. And I know that 3 is 70 because they're vertical angles, and I know 6 is 70. So I think I found all the 70s. And I need to find 1, and I know this is a straight line, so 180 minus 70. Those are supplementary angles, is 110. So this is 110, this is 110. And I know 5 is alternate interior angles is 110. Therefore 8 is 110. So you're going to be given some parallel lines cut by a transversal, and you'll have to find the remaining angles. That concludes the explanation. We're ready to start the assignment, so open your book to 251, and it's guided practice 1 to 18, exercises 1 to 27. Fold your paper in half, skip a line, and we're ready to start number 2 on the guided practice. They want you to write each sentence in symbols, so it says line segment PQ. So remember, the symbol for a line segment is just the bar with no arrows, is parallel, the two parallel lines, to line segment MN. And that's how we write that. Problems 3 through 5, write each statement in words. So number 4, we have these symbols. So changing that into English, this is ray, FG. This is a symbol for perpendicular, is perpendicular to ray, UV. Problem number 6, draw a diagram that represents this statement. ray MN is perpendicular to line segment GH. Well, I'm going to draw line segment GH. And then ray MN is perpendicular to it. And I'll just put a right angle there. Problems 7 through 10 use the figure at the right and tell whether the given angles are a pair of corresponding angles or alternate interior angles. Now you don't have to draw this one. We will be drawing some later. I'm just going to put it down so we can reference it. So we have line AB and line RS and line XY. And they put the right angle symbol there. 1, 2, 5, 6. This is 5. And 3, 4, 7, 8. So problem number 8, angle 2 and angle 7. Tell whether the angles are a pair of corresponding angles. 2 and 7. Because the two lines are not parallel here, RS and XY, they're not corresponding. But they are alternate interior. Well, it's technically they're not equal to each other no matter what. But 2 and 7 are in between, so they're interior, alternate interior. Number 10, 4 and 2. Here's 4 and 2, and they're on the right side of these lines, so that we would call them corresponding. But because the two lines are not parallel, they would not be equal. Use the figure above at the right and tell whether each statement is true or false. So we're still using this. Number 12, line AB is perpendicular to line RS. So here's AB and here's RS, and they put in the right angle symbol, so that would be true. It's making a right angle. Problems 13 through 14, we're going to draw this figure in the middle of our paper. We're going to fill in all of the numbers, and then we can just use it to do the evens and the odds. So draw in the center of your paper, draw the two parallel lines cut by that transversal. And put the numbers in. This is 9, 13, 10, and 14. And this is 11, 15, and 12, and 16. Since they told us that the lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are equal, alternate interior and alternate exterior angles are equal. And they tell us that in angle 9 is 75 degrees. So we should be able to find all the remaining angles. So these are vertical angles, so 75 degrees here. These are corresponding angles, 9, 11, so this is 75, and vertical angle 75. 13 and 9 make a straight line, they're supplementary, so if I take 180 minus 75, I get 105, so 13 is 105 degrees. It's vertical to 10, that's 105 degrees. 10 and 12 are corresponding, that's 105. And 12 and 15 are vertical, that's 105. So I have all my angles and I can do all my answers. So 14 is angle 11, which is 75 degrees. 16 is angle 13, which is 105 degrees. 18 is angle 15, which was 105 degrees. Now we're ready for the exercises 1 through 27. Use the figure at the right and tell whether each statement is true or false. Then you don't have to draw this figure. I'm going to do it just so we have something to reference. These are all lines. And then they have indicated these are right angles here. So problem number 2 on the exercises. Line AB is perpendicular to line DB. So here's AB and here's DB, and they form right angles, so the answer is true. Problem number 4 says line AC is parallel to line BD. Here's AC and here's BD, and they're going to eventually intersect, so that's false. They are not parallel. They will eventually meet. Number 6, line AC is parallel to line CD. Here's AC, here's CD, definitely not parallel. They cross each other, so that's false. And problem number 8, line CD is perpendicular to line BD. Here's CD, here's BD, they form right angles, so that's true. The next set of problems, 9 through 14, we're going to draw the figure and put in all the values for the angles because we have 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal. So draw your 2 parallel lines, draw the transversal, and put in the numbers for the angles. This is 1, 2, that's 3. 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is angle 4 here. And they tell us that the 2 lines are parallel, so all the angles are going to be equal, corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior. And they tell us that angle 7 is 143 degrees. So let's fill in all the other angles. 7 and 6 are vertical, so that's 143 degrees. 7 and 3 are corresponding angles, that's 143. 2's across from 3, they're vertical, 143. And then we just need to find 8, and we know 7 and 8 make 180 degrees or supplementary because that's a straight line. So we take 143 from 180, and we get 37 degrees. So angle 8 is 37, 5 is 37, 5 and 4 are alternate interior, so those are 37, and 1's across from 4, that's 37. So we have all the angles we need, measurements. So problem number 10, angle 2 is 143 degrees. And number 12, angle 4 is 37 degrees. And 14, angle 6 is 143 degrees. 15 and 16, in each figure, line RS is parallel to line VW. So let's draw 16. We're to find the measure of X. Since we're only using this for 1, I'm just going to draw it right here on the left side. And we have X is here. We're trying to find that, and this is 119 degrees. So we have to find X. We know alternate interior angles are congruent or same. So this is 119 degrees. X and 119 make 180 degrees since this is a straight line. So if I take 180 minus 119, I get 61. So angle X is 61 degrees. Problem 17 and 18, in each figure, first find the measure of all the numbered angles, then tell whether the lines MN are parallel or intersecting. So 18, we're going to draw the figure and fill in all our angles. So we have this line, this one, line M, and this is line N. So this is line L, M, and N. And they number it 7, 8, 9. And they tell us that this angle here is 102. And this is 10, 11, and 12, and this angle is 78 degrees. So finding all the angles, angle 7. Since these two angles make a straight line, we can take 180 minus 102, so that would be 78 degrees. This is 78. Whoops, let me go back here and fix this. Let's fill in the angles first. So this is 102, angle, this is also 102. 180 minus 102 is 78, and this is 78. Here we have 78 degrees, so this one also has to be, angle 11 is vertical, so 78, and we already did, these two make 180, so we just need to put 102 here because we already subtracted that earlier, and this is 102 because it's across from 10. So our answers, angle 7 equals 78 degrees, angle 8 equals 102, angle 9 equals 78, angle 10 is 102, angle 11 is 78, and angle 12 is 102. And they wanted to know if the lines were parallel or intersecting. These two lines, M and N, are going to intersect. They're not parallel, so intersecting. Okay, the next section, thinking skills. Lines that do not lie in the same plane are called skew lines. So number 20, the figure at the right represents a box similar to an ordinary packing carton. Classify each pair of line segments as parallel, perpendicular, or skew. Okay, so if I draw a box, and I'm going to label it A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So number 20 has 4 parts: A, line segment AB, and line segment DC. So here's AB, here's DC. They're in the same plane and they're definitely parallel. B, we have EF and line segment DH. Here's EF, here's DH. They're in different planes and they're definitely not parallel or perpendicular, so they're skew. C, we have CG and FG. CG, here's CG, here's FG, and they run into each other, so they're intersecting, but they're also going to be perpendicular because it makes a right angle right here. So put perpendicular. And D, we have AB and GH. So here's AD right here, and GH here. Excuse me, AB and GH. Those are parallel. Problem number 22. Determine if the statement is true or false. Any two lines in space are related in exactly one of these ways. They either intersect, they are parallel, or they are askew. And we've already seen that that's true. Number 24. In the figure at the right, AB is parallel to line CD. Find the measure of angle 8. Okay, if we draw that figure. Whoops. Okay, we'll draw the figure and see what we can find out. We have 1, 2, and this is 40, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And they want us to find the measure of angle 8. Well, we know 40 and 6 are alternate interior angles, so 6 is 40. And we know 6 and 8 make 180 degrees because that's a straight line. So you just take 180 minus 40, then 6 is 140 degrees. And 26, complete. So remember, this is a scale review. 148 millimeters is how many meters? Well, remember the units, it goes the unit and then decimeters, centimeters, millimeters. So I'm going from millimeters to meters. I'm going 1, 2, 3 to the left. So 148, 1, 2, 3 to the left is 0.148 meters. That concludes the evens. Be sure and check the back of the book for the odds to the exercises. Use that for your score.